Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and on behalf of the Minnesota North College Rainy River Hall of Fame Committee and the Rainy River Foundation, I'd like to welcome you to the third annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony. My name is Tim Ringhoffer. I will be your Masters of Ceremonies this evening. We'd like to keep this going at a good brisk pace, which has been the great thing about this Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I love it that way. It just boom, 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 it keeps going on and on. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce Alan Rasmussen to come to this page at this time.
Thank you, Ringer. Good evening and welcome. I'm Alan Rasmussen, and I'm here representing the Rainy River Community College Foundation. The Hall of Fame Committee is part of the foundation, and they are the people whose hard work is responsible for organizing and producing this event. The Rainy River College Hall of Fame has become an important vehicle for the college to reconnect and recognize past and present students, faculty, administrators, and staff for their contributions to Rainy River and our community. The foundation is pleased to be part of it, and thank you for your contributions and for your continuing efforts to advance Rainy River campus of Minnesota North educational mission and its student success. Special thank you to the staff members Tammy Wood, Amy Amundsen, and Christy Huffaker for your assistance to make this event successful and memorable. It is now my pleasure to introduce an avid supporter of the Rainy River College Hall of Fame, the president of Minnesota North College. Minnesota North and the colleges he heads is a collaboration of 5 northern Minnesota two-year colleges. Dr. Reich, thank you for your attendance this evening and for your continued support of the Rainy River campus. Please welcome Dr. Michael Reich.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you to the committee and the foundation for the organization of this event, third annual event, and it's just been a fantastic time every year. So I appreciate the work and certainly enjoy being here. I think Alan mentioned that we were 5 colleges, now we're one college, 6 campuses, but we're a state college. We're part of the state college system. And I think it'd be remiss not to acknowledge that today was a horrific day in Minnesota with the loss of life of Representative Melissa Hortman and Senator John Hoffman, who is still in the hospital, and both their spouses affected by the senseless shooting that occurred in Champlin in Brooklyn Park. Senator Hoffman has probably been on this campus as a part of the investment committee. I know I certainly was with him at Tom and Jerry's, actually visiting with them when they toured around. And they're both big supporters of higher ed, so our hearts go out to them and their families. And I've always struggled when, frankly, there's been a tragedy and then you go off and you do your thing, right? We come here and we celebrate while there's just these families reeling with loss, but then I realize it's the only thing we can do, right? It's the only thing you can do. You can't let a tragedy like that affect all parts of your life. In fact, there's no better way, really, to be together for an event like this, to celebrate and to remind ourselves that there's so much more good in the world than there is bad in the world. And no better way to do that than with a Hall of Fame event, because the people that are being inducted tonight or being celebrated are representative of the good of the world. And I used AI, and I said, AI, what's a Hall of Fame? And it was a short answer. It said, a Hall of Fame is a perfect way to recognize excellence, preserve history, and inspire others. And I thought that's perfect, because our people tonight that we're inducting have the qualities that represent those 3 things, right? They've embraced leadership, they've embraced service, they've embraced coaching, they've persisted, they've demonstrated excellence, they support the community, and they leave inspirational legacies. And so, inductees, thank you for all you've done. You've conducted yourself to a standard that's deserving of this recognition, and we certainly appreciate you. We thank you, and I congratulate you on your induction. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Reich. It's now time for our invocation, and nobody better to give that than Deacon Lee Grimm.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you all for being here. We call forth our ground of being, the giver of breath and life, to fill our hearts and minds with gratitude, joy, peace. We come from many places, backgrounds, ethnicities, and many paths, inspired by a singular mission to commemorate and honor the men and women of achievement, distinction, or fame in many fields, who left lasting marks on the history and culture of our Rainy River campus. Unite us with hearts deeply thankful for all the gifts of life that we have received, and to be profoundly indebted to those who have helped to get us where we are. May we be guided to appreciate, to know, and to do what is right to promote the mission and the goals of Minnesota North College Rainy River Campus and the Rainy River Foundation and Hall of Fame. And may we be inspired with courage, wisdom, and compassion to stand in solidarity with the Rainy River Campus faculty. We are grateful for the presence of past and present members of the Rainy River College administration, staff, instructors, students, and alumni. Help us to understand that we can never become enlightened until we become occupied, not with being right, but lifting the lives of people around us, our families, and our communities. And may we cultivate the capacity to see the humanity and dignity of those who disagree with us, and to treat all people, no matter how different, with respect, dignity, and decency. And may we live a purpose bigger than ourselves, understanding that when we do, we will begin to transcend our limitations and discover ourselves to be far greater than we have ever imagined. And may we recognize that our lives will be measured not by the titles we carry, but by the number of hearts we heal and the lives we transform. May we walk away from this gathering with courage to move beyond ourselves with a singular mission, determined to find ways to inspire life, absorb the inspiration of others, and become an inspiration to others. May our intentions be sincere, our labor selfless, and may our beautiful campus become a shining example for all to follow. And remember, life is short. We haven't much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel with us. So be swift to love, make haste to be kind, and peace and love of our giver of life and breath be with us always. Gratitude, joy, and peace to all.
It is now time for our inductions. And with the varied areas that we are covering this evening, we are going to start with administrative excellence. And our first inductee is Dr. Wallace Simpson. And accepting on behalf of Dr. Wallace Simpson will be Nicole Colson and Rose Simpson.
I have as guest tonight our daughter Nicole Colson, who was born in the hospital here, and after receiving her journalism degree from Western Washington University, worked as a journalist for the Fall Daily Journal. When her husband, David Colson, graduated from Rainy River College and went on to the University of Minnesota, she was a journalist for the Shakopee Valley News. More recently, she was president of the Band Boosters, 300 band members, and an award-winning marching band in Farmington. Another guest is our son, Robin Simpson, who was born in Neuburg, Germany, when we taught for the Armed Services Degree School. He graduated from Georgetown Law School and became president and CEO of his law firm in Minneapolis. Dick and Sally Shack are also our guests. Sally worked for years with Bureau And Dick is an excellent builder, building all over the area, and he helped to build Rainy River College. Dylan Flaherty, the project manager, toward the end of the project, had to lay off workers. And when he came to Dick Shack, he said, "I'm going to lay myself off. I can't lay Dick. You're the best contractor we have." The college was fortunate to have outstanding faculty. One was Sue Collins, who became the president of all of the northern community colleges. Another, of course, was Alan Rasmussen, who was president for 10 years. Alan, on behalf of the foundation, made a plaque for the college art room, given by Dave Larson. It honors Wally's artistic talent in his 11 years as president of Rainy River. Thank you, Alan. Lee Grimm was the second person hired on the original faculty. He taught biology, but also did eagle research for Voyager Park and Isle Royal. Wally drew a cartoon of Lee's cleaning out an eagle's nest. Two crows were down in the corner, and one said to the other, "Do you think he would clean our nest too?" We lived briefly across the channel from Afghan, and Lee and Carol were our neighbors. Wally was not familiar with the birds in the area, but Lee, of course, was, and had a collection for the biology department. One morning, Lee came into Wally's office and said, "Wally, there are Red Cross bills all over your yard." Wally said, "Why would the Red Cross put bills all over my yard?"
So many people prepared the way for the college. Judge Hadler and Mabel Linston gave the land. Mrs. Shaw, Amy Mackinnon, and the Rainy Lake Women's Club, other women's clubs, and so many others made it possible for Dad to succeed. After 11 years of helping it thrive, he moved on to 3 other colleges in 3 states. At Inver Hills in Inver Grove Heights, he started an inner city outreach in St. Paul. At Mesa College in Arizona, he helped start Chandler Gilbert Community College and hired Garrison Tamakera, who brought many Native Americans to Mesa College. He was very proud of that. While there at the National Convention, he received the award for Outstanding Community College President in the nation. When he moved to Olympic College in Bremerton, Washington, the college had a center at the Bangor Naval Submarine Base, and he helped start branches at Shelton and Paulsbo. These 2 branches were also helped by the Hanson, Nordstrom, and Gates families who lived on Hood Canal. Elmer Nordstrom contributed the water quality lab because he was concerned for the Hood Canal. Simpson Timber gave the wood for the Shelton Branch campus and won a national award for use of wood in the design. Dad and Mom kept our home here on Rainy Lake, where he, Mom, Robin, my brother Chris, and me and our families enjoyed summer vacations, and where Mom and Dad retired. Dad's heart was always with his beloved Rainy River College. Thank you for inducting him into the Rainy River Hall of Fame. What an honor.
Thank you, Rose and Nicole. Our next inductee for administrative excellence is Dr. Sue Collins.
Thank you, Lee. Good evening, everyone, and I have to tell you, I'm really nervous. I don't do this very much anymore, so bear with me. I'm honored truly, to be named to the Hall of Fame, and I thank Alan Rasmussen for most of the things that happened to me in my life. So, Alan, thank you. I honestly, I want to keep it short and sweet and say that my life was enhanced by virtue of what I did at the college and with the people that I came into contact with, it really, truly changed me. And even my mother said that one time when I went home to Illinois, she says, "My goodness, you have really turned out." So with that, I'll quit and just thank you all, and I thank Alan forever.
Thank you, Sue. We are going to move on to our next induction area, and that is going to be for academic excellence. And tonight's inductee is Sue Nordquist.
Good evening to each of you present to celebrate the lives of the 2025 Rainy River Community College Hall of Fame inductees. Wow, that's a mouthful. I'm deeply honored to be a recipient of this special recognition, and I extend my congratulations to each of you 2025 inductees. This honor truly stands in its own league of excellence. I want to extend my greatest gratitude to the Hall of Fame board members and all of those involved in hosting this very special event. In addition, a great thank you to all of you familiar as family and friends and acquaintances who are present to share in this very special event. I've been blessed to be part of Rainy River Community College and its area, different groups and things that are related to the college for almost 50 years. Yes, almost 50 years. Woo! Yes. So that was as starting out as a learner, a teacher, a foundation board member, and a scholarship committee member. One of my greatest joys came from directing a number of international educational tours for our students and community members. My Rainy River Community College world has been intertwined with one central theme: people, passion, learning, the wonder of Rainy River Community College. Praise to each of you, and thank you.
All righty.
Thank you, Sue. We are now going to move on to the area of professional excellence. And I was told that we also need to be worried about athletic excellence as well, as this gentleman has covered both areas. Before I have him come up, I'm honored to tell you that he is going to be the 110th King Zulu for Mardi Gras next year. I don't know exactly what that all means, but that sounds pretty good when they call you king, right? So he's got that going on. This is a little note that Louis Armstrong was also King Zulu at one point back in 1949. So, without further ado, Dr. Ronald Tassin.
Let me just first off to say, giving thanks to my Lord Jesus Christ, who is the head of my honor. I want to second to say thanks to Dr. Rach for all of the excellence that you've come in across. Thank you for coming across with actually great excellence. I know this is the third annual induction, and I was honored to actually get the honor of it. So thank you. I am here to stand and say of the class of '92, when I was recruited by Dave Horner and to come to I couldn't pronounce it, but it was International Falls, and I was like, where is that? So you have to understand, I'm coming from New Orleans, Louisiana. Getting here was an amazing ride, meaning that we took a Greyhound bus, some of us, and so like we got here. And my speech is not confronted as words, but my speech is about the truth. Because as I reached here, there was a community that I have no idea of. It was a community of love, hope, given grace. And that's what they shared with me. And it was the great honor and the respect that I had no idea of. Yeah, it was a changing world for me. You know, I was a young 18, 19-year-old guy. The education that I learned at Rainy River was some of the most abundantly and some of the most truthness. Mr. Lee Grimm, I say thank you for the honor of your biology. It wasn't all good at times, to be honest with you. But it was the most time of learning something that I wasn't too much formal, but I learned it. And I was able to go on and actually get the actual BS in biology with the thanks of you. Thank you. Dieter, well, I say thanks to Dieter as well. He was one of our most biggest brothers that we always counted on. See, it was an amazing story, and it is an amazing story to tell because God only knows what He knows. He's going to guide you, but He's not going to give you the answers. He's going to let you see everything you need to see, and He's going to wait to say, hey, you're going to be okay. And when I finished in 92, and as I can stand here and stand tall and say, learned some of the most fundamentals of my academics. Yes, I did play basketball. I played very well. I was ranked somewhere. Dieter probably know all the stats. I don't know. But it was a great time of my life, and it actually gave me the opportunity to go on and pursue my career. And you can read some of the actual things that I've done, but one of the most things that I've always shared since I've left Rainy River, since I've left International Falls, Minnesota, was that when you care for people, it shows. When you care for people, it shows. Rainy River, I say thank you for caring for me because it did show today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronald. Our next area of induction will be community and civic excellence. And being inducted this evening will be Lillian Shaw. And accepting on behalf of Lillian Shaw will be Jessie Lorian and Catherine O'Connor.
I remember the morning my mother was on the phone, and she had heard over the radio that they were going to set up I believe it was for junior colleges in the state. And she thought, it should be us. So she got on the phone and called. One of the first persons she called was Mark Abbott, and he agreed to be on the committee. Then she would call the next one and say, Mark Abbott is on, how about you? And the list got longer and longer, and pretty soon they had the basis all set to have a junior college here. So I was really proud of my mother that she did this. Variety shows. And we had to earn a lot of money, so we decided to put on variety shows. And they would pack this community full of people who would see some of the interesting acts, like the mayor dressed up like a floozy and a dance team of men that were ballerinas. Yeah, ballerinas. It was very, very interesting. We made a lot of money and got the college started here. So, okay, that's my memory. Thank you so much for being here. Me too. Yeah, and with my daughter to help me out. So,
you want to talk about Grandma's portrait?
I see the the portrait of my mother here.
Who painted it?
Lillian, her name was. And,
Who's the painter?
Jean Ritchie Monahan
Right.
did it for us, so that's precious to us.
This portrait actually was one of the last that Miss Monahan did. She did it at her home, and she had red geraniums always in her window at her home in Rainier. And Grandma was 95 when this was painted. My mother is 95 today. There's definitely a resemblance. This portrait was donated to the college. It hangs in the library, which is appropriate. I'm sure she's watching everybody as they do their homework. Right? Get ready for presentations and everything. We decided that Grandma doesn't get out often enough, so she's joined us for dinner. So if you would like to come and see that portrait a little more up close and personal, you're more than welcome to do that. When I started doing a little bit of research, luckily there's a lot that the Journal had that was turned over to the library, municipal library, and also the college has an archives room, so they have a number of important documents and photos and all kinds of things that are there. So I took the opportunity to spend some time digging into some of the details, because when the variety shows happened, I was a child, and I could see all the enthusiasm and more and more people that were pulled into it. The variety shows were international. There were a lot of acts and people that got talked into participating from Fort Francis and the area north of the border, and many, many, many of them came to the sold-out performances. That money was used to do research, and there were over 40, it says in the program, there were over 40 organizations that added to the information about the area. And that information was put into a multi-page, 13 or 14 pages, that was given to the selection committee to help them to decide. And there were, I believe, 280 or 85 people that were members of those organizations and members of that committee. So it was certainly showed the enthusiasm for our area, for our town and Fort Francis and Canada, and showed the support that people are going to have for the college.
Yep.
For here.
Okay,
So
that's enough. That's enough.
We are now going to move on to athletics. And we will first do individual excellence in athletics. And our first inductee from women's softball will be Lindsay Imhoff Sullivan.
Okay. Thank you all so much. I'm truly overwhelmed with gratitude and deeply honored to be receiving this award. Softball has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. Ironically, I quit t-ball. It just wasn't something I loved, but when I got to be about 10, that's when the love of the game truly came to me. It began as a way that I would spend time with my dad, and the two of us in the yard, and I'm going to cry. We'd play catch, we'd learn the game, and it was building a bond. Eventually, he became my coach, and he taught me everything he could about the art of pitching, and he pushed me, challenged me, believed in me. And that foundation and the countless hours that we spent shaped everything that came after. So that journey brought me to Rainy River, and at the time, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do as a career choice, but I knew I wanted to keep playing the game that I loved. I was fortunate to play under Coach Dieter, and he pushed me to grow as both a player and a person. I'll never forget my first game here. My dad was in the stands, for the first time instead of in the dugout, and I was on the mound calling my own pitches for the first time, and that was a real turning point. It wasn't just me throwing anymore, it was me learning how to think, how to read batters, and how to lead from the circle. Our team made it all the way to nationals and finished third in the country, an incredible achievement and one of my proudest memories. That season was filled with growth, grit, and unforgettable teammates. I learned so much about the game and even more about perseverance. How to bounce back when a pitch, an inning, or an entire game doesn't go your way. And it's a lesson that has stuck with me far beyond the field. Now, my 2 children are starting to show interest in the game, and we've begun playing catch in the yard, just like I did with my dad. And it's a full circle moment. My hope is to pass down the same love for the game and the life lessons that came with it, so they can carry them into whatever they may choose to do. So thank you for this incredible honor. Thank you to Coach Dieter, to my teammates, to my family, for shaping me into the player and the person that I am today. I appreciate this more than I can express, so thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, Lindsay. Our next individual excellence for athletics inductee will be J.C. Crane, who was the first player ever recruited to be on the Rainy River baseball team. So ladies and gentlemen, J.C. Crane.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here in front of you tonight. I'm not good with speeches, but somehow I end up with like a 4-minute speech, so bear with me. I just want to take this time to say thank you to all the people. That's what this whole speech is about. Just thanking the people that helped me during my time here. First, I wanted to extend my deepest gratitude to the entire staff at Rainy River and to all the people of International Falls. From day one, everyone was so friendly and welcoming, making the transition so much easier for an 18-year-old so far from home. I was born and raised in Tucson and had never seen or even heard of Minnesota Nice. But I can tell you guys from experience, Minnesota Nice is real, and I would not have survived so far from home without it. Thank you to Amy Edmondson for always leaving your door open and giving all the baseball guys a caring and supportive person to talk to when we needed it. Thanks to Coach Dieter for opening up his home at all hours of the night and letting us take batting practice in his garage at 1 a.m. Thanks to Mel, our AD, for allowing this team to get started and to help everything get set up for the first year program. Thank you for making your hire for your first and only baseball coach, Coach Koenig. Coach, thank you for taking a chance on a kid across the country. Your belief in me gave me the opportunity to continue playing baseball and advance my education, not only here, but into the university afterwards. It makes me happy to see that the pipeline from Tucson to Rainy River is stronger year after year, and it's an honor to be the first baseball player to sign for the program, and I couldn't have asked for a more perfect fit. You surrounded me with great coaches in my 2 years, including Coach Amdahl, who showed great character and was willing to coach a sport that he had never coached before just because the program needed it. And I'm thankful that he was part of the first team. Thank you to Coach's wonderful wife, Shelley, who took a role as our team mom while raising 3 perfect kids in the process. You showed amazing kindness and an open heart and were a beacon for me and all of my teammates and made sure that none of us felt like we were 2,000 miles from home. Coach, you were phenomenal. You run a phenomenal program, and it was a privilege to be a part of it. You are an amazing coach, but an even better person, and I couldn't have asked for a better role model for such a young age. Thank you for everything you did for me, and I'm glad you're still a part of my life. My biggest thank you, of course, goes to my parents, my mom, my dad, and my sister. Thank you for taking time to take me to countless games, for raising me to value hard work and instilling in me the importance of character and success, not just in sports, but in life. Mom, thank you for always helping my teams throughout my life and always having that comforting whistle I could hear coming through the crowd. Dad, thank you for teaching me everything I know about baseball, and sorry, Coach Koenig, but Dad, you're still the best coach I ever had. I would not be here if it was not for you. Thank you all so much for the incredible honor, and congratulations for everyone that was inducted tonight.
Thank you, JC. Our next inductee will be for women's volleyball and women's basketball, and that is Katie Carlson-Utke. She is unable to be here this evening, and to accept on her behalf will be Lori Humbert.
Good evening, esteemed faculty, distinguished coaches, proud families, fellow inductees, and my husband and daughters. I am honored to be among all of you tonight. I am humbled to be inducted into Rainy River, Minnesota North College Athletic Hall of Fame. This moment is not just a recognition of my achievements, but a celebration of the journey characterized by family, friends, coaches, and teammates. The opportunity to have these people to be a part of my life is what has truly shaped me into what I am today. It is overwhelmingly profound that all these wonderful people have chosen me through the towering support from my mother, my sister, and fellow teammates. I am a better person, and I also had coaches who went above and beyond normal responsibilities. Coach Jason Pautsky of MHS, Chris Endicott of MHS, Mella Millerburn of our RCC, and Dieter Humbert of our RCC. These men instilled in me courage, confidence, and gave me opportunities for success. I am not sure if they fully comprehend their impact on my life. They won my heart. They were great men and women who brought a game to teach to each practice and taught me what a man and woman looks like. Thank you for your enduring consistency. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is a testament to the power of community and tireless counseling by each single coach. Also, I would like to thank my teachers and professors. You kept me eligible. Today I brought a picture that I would like to share with you. You would think by how these young children look that they won a championship, but they didn't. They won 4th place in a consolation bracket. Their jubilation expresses their feelings. I have one, I think, on my college experience. The championships and big victories don't compare to the relationships cultivated with coaches and teammates. It's the most priceless picture. It's her standing there, and these little people are just, they're precious. And their arms are out, and they're running to her, and you can, if you knew Katie, she was just the most precious person herself. And she's not here because she just recently lost her mom, and she just wasn't able to do this, and I can understand. And their little arms are running out to her, and you can just see that she is a mom herself, and she can feel their excitement, and you know, as a mom, most of you in here are, and you can just see that she just embraces them like they're winning a championship. So it's really cool. So if you get the chance, watch it, because it's really neat. So in closing, I will leave you with a testimony of a coach I met many years ago. His peers, assistants, and athletes hold him to the highest regard. He is extremely well known in the athletic community as coach that many want to emulate. When standing through opposition, I continue to carry out God's work. Although I have been challenged for living out my faith, it's a challenge, but there's always been a test. Sometimes we fight the world, sometimes we fight jealousy, accomplishments, or vanity. I know I need to be the best example, yet the devil challenges me all the time. Every day you need to realize he will try to intervene, divide, and conquer, but you can't let him win. I want to live out Ephesians 6, emphasizing that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of this dark world, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Coach Humbert, you have shown Christ's love to hundreds of young women. Thank you for fighting our souls, sharing the gospel, and fighting in places unseen. You've triumphed in many games, but the greater victory is your impact on many of young lives. To the rest of you, thank you so much for being here this evening. I know the other inductees, as well as many of myself, are honored by your presence. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Our next inductee for individual excellence in athletics will be from men's basketball and will be Billy Lindsay.
That's my daughter over there. Thank you, guys. I'm not good at speaking in front of folks, but I want to thank everybody for the honor here. And I just want to tell a little story how I got here. I don't know if everyone knew that when I first was recruited by Coach Horner, and it was kind of a pleasant conversation. I don't know if everybody knew, but a friend of mine from home was here before I had went to a different college in Louisiana, and I had went back home and said I was done playing basketball, and my friend actually was here. And he called me and said, Coach Horner says if you want to come up, he'll help you get up, and if you don't like it, he'll help you get back. So I had nothing really to lose. I said, okay. Being 18 years old, I just turned 18, so I said, well, I'll do it. So, and it was coming here, not only it was a culture shock, it was a climate shock also, being from Louisiana. But I have to say too, I think him and I were, in the town, there were the first two minorities, black minorities in town, as far as in town and on the basketball team, or at the college. So we were so happy that everybody here in town accepted us. And everybody here was so nice to us when we got here. It was unbelievable. I have so many stories that I could tell on how nice folks were to us here. And being here, it worked out for me. The first college I went to was too large. So coming back here to Rainy River, it was a perfect fit for me. It was like, I grew up in rural Louisiana, Natchitoches, Louisiana, rural Louisiana. And I grew up in a community where everybody looked after everybody. So coming here, it was the same mentality, where there was times when him and I would be walking down the street. There were times when folks actually would stop us and invite us in for supper. And I think that's the first time I found out what tater tot hot dish was. And goulash. I think it was goulash. Goulash. But it turned out to be good, So, but also we and also the college was good for us. We enjoyed everybody at the college. It was nice for me to go to a smaller college where most of the instructors, there was time we would play basketball and we wouldn't get back till late. It was nice that they would have us come into their office and help us out, get us caught up if we missed something. So it was nice to have that one-on-one with them. So for me also, being from Louisiana, I like to fish and I like to hunt a bit. So you guys have a lot of water around here. So and when I was here, they didn't have dorms either. So they would put us in with a host family. And they did that with Mr. and Mrs. Taylor. I hope everyone mind me bringing up their name. They were so nice to us that it's unbelievable. They would, I don't think they ever charged me anything for staying there. That's how nice they were. Only thing I had to put up with was Mrs. Taylor's free cooking, which was good, and Mr. Taylor's, he always gave advice. That I don't know. And I still keep in touch with them. Since then, they moved to Boise, Idaho, and I probably see them once a year or so. I call them. Matter of fact, they're like second mom and dad to me. Tomorrow's Father's Day, I have to call him. And he actually told me, he said, you should go up there. And they were. Everybody here was really nice to us. I can't go on and tell you how nice folks were to us, So, but I want to thank you guys for inviting me back as an inductee. And it's a great honor, There are so many people I can thank and so many stories I could tell. Like even the girls' softball team that's here, they were there when I was there. So it was nice to see all of them again. It was like I never lost a moment with them, just catching up with them. So, but anyway, I want to thank you guys again, and it's been real. And I'm glad you guys invited me back, and thanks for the nice honor.
Thank you, Billy. Our final inductee for individual excellence in athletics will be Angie Katrin Bacavoy for women's golf.
Good evening, selection committee, honorees, and distinguished guests. Thank you for making Minnesota North Rainy River Community College a special place. Also, thanks to those who have recognized me and my family and friends for supporting me. Rainy River Community College provided me with the opportunity to attend post-secondary education during my junior and senior years of high school. After high school, I attended Rainy River Community College for 1 year and received my Associate of Arts degree. A head start to college allowed me to attend Minnesota State University Mankato for 3 years. Thanks to Rainy River Community College, I was able to take a lighter academic load at Mankato, which created more time for studies, golf, and work. I was able to graduate at 21 and start my federal government career shortly thereafter. I so appreciate International Falls and all the activity opportunities it provided. A winning culture at our school was prevalent, and it was such a great atmosphere to be a part of. I tried so many different extracurricular activities as a kid, and at a young age, I fell in love with the game of golf. Our kids need these opportunities, and most will find their niche, whether it's music, academics, or athletics. Thank you to my coaches, Bill Mason at Falls High School, Nick Campa at Minnesota State University Mankato, and Tom O'Connell at Rainy River Community College. Tom was a great teacher of the golf swing, and he really helped elevate my game. My family also deserves a special recognition. To my dad, who first inspired me to try golf, and to my mom, who drove countless miles all over the state of Minnesota, even though she wasn't comfortable going outside of Coochin County. And back in those days, there was no GPS. I would also like to thank my loving husband, Dan, and 3 daughters, Abby, Emma, and Clara, for their support. My daughters are all active in Bemidji sports, and I've grown a true appreciation to what parents go through to provide opportunities for their kids. Of course, winning is fun, and a winning culture is important, but looking back, what I most appreciate about playing golf was the competition. You learn to win and lose with grace. Golf has taught me so many life skills such as focus, perseverance, and patience. It teaches you to be disciplined, manage your feelings, and adjust to change, all important in achieving your lifelong goals. As a teenager, I got close to so many adults at the golf course, so many colorful characters. What a great experience for a kid. Moving away and going to college can be quite intimidating, and when you don't know anybody. But immediately I had 11 teammates, a coach that looked out for me, and good role models surrounded me. College golf is a good gig. Playing and traveling with a group of girls who became lifelong friends to this day was amazing. And it also opened up employment opportunities. Growing up, I was lucky to play golf with the boys and also play with my dad and his friends. Playing the old guys for a buck or two only makes you more competitive. I'm most thankful for all the golf I got to play with my brother Andrew. Andrew was 6 years younger, yet he was a player at a young age. Andrew was my biggest cheerleader and also my biggest critic. There was no such thing as a casual round of golf with Andrew. He always wanted to kick my butt. Just leaving you with a couple of my favorite golf memories. One of my college teammates and best friend got a job running the 3M sporting events. And this was past Arnold Palmer's competitive days, but he would help my friend promote these events. And so she invited me to the tournament, and I got into the players' tent, and I got to meet Arnold Palmer. It was quite the experience. He even gave me a kiss on the cheek. No camera, but I know my parents would have posterized that. And one of my proudest moments was playing in a 3-person golf team event at Grand Casino Hinckley with my brother and dad. Andrew was 16 at the time, and I had just graduated college and was playing well. And my dad, well, I guess you could call him a good cheerleader. Anyways, we won the event, and they were awarding the prizes on the deck. They announce our name, and my dad says, "Angie, go up and get that." Looking back now, I know that my dad and brother were most proud that I was the only girl in the event. So many good memories. I am thankful to be a Rainy River Community College grad and for the springboard to my career they provided. I'm grateful to be recognized tonight. Thank you for honoring me.
All right.
Thank you, Angie. We will now move on to team excellence in athletics. Our first team to be inducted this evening will be the 1980 women's softball team, and accepting on behalf of the team will be Leanne Hardy.
First of all, we're a team, so girls, get up here. Let's go, come on. First of all, thank you to the committee for honoring this team. I'm going to introduce them individually, but you have to share a story. Who knew that we'd make it this far? We were just a bunch of high school girls going into college or second year Rainy River, and boy, we had talent on and off the field.
Why are you looking at me?
Yeah. But anyhow, we had great infielders, outfielders, but you know, the game of fast pitch, this is fast pitch softball, you need a pitcher. Our pitcher was Tammy Holler. Now, for those of you that didn't know Tammy, and may she rest in peace, Tammy had the arm, and I was her catcher, and I knew it. Tammy, Nancy shared this with me because I can't remember even if I played the second year or not. Tammy wore a beanie. Her ears were always cold. Well, we were in Austin, and I think it was at state, and we thought, well, what are we going to do? We need to intimidate these other teams. So some member of the team pulled out a can of chew. It was beef jerky, by the way, but who knew that? So we walk it over to Tammy, and Tammy takes a pinch on the mound, you know, before the game starts. And we all took a chew. And
we took it out.
Boy, those Austin girls, the Austin girls just most dropped. We were bad. And
well,
that was part of the winning.
At that time, they looked at us and said, or looked across the field and said, they are lumberjacks. Yes, we are.
So, as you can see in the program, we don't have a lot of stats. They didn't keep those kind of things in those days. It was just about winning the Northern Division and going to state. And we were very fortunate to do that. And we were a team. I appreciate this event because I haven't been in touch with many of these people for years. And for Val to come back, and Diane to come back, and Nancy, I mean, they traveled hours to get here. And so I appreciate that and being able to see them again. Right here is Nancy Sheridan. Is Nicole up here?
Nicole? Come on.
Nicole is Nancy's daughter and Bear Holler's daughter. And she's going to accept the award. And of course, Tammy Holler's niece. And she'll accept the award for them. Next comes Brenda Casberry. I'm not saying your maiden names. There you go. Lynette Fiedler, Kelly Sullivan, Terry Chalmers, Val Larson, and Diana Day. And of course, I was Berger, and
Still are.
Okay. And so we really appreciate everybody coming to this, having this, and we all really enjoyed our time at Rainy River.
Thank you, Rainy River.
Thank you, Rainy River.
Thank you, Leanne, and all the team members. Our next team to be inducted for excellence in athletics this evening will be the 1970 men's hockey team, and to accept on behalf of the team will be Crazy Thompson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and honored guests. This is a privilege. I didn't know I was going to be doing this. I thought I could just sit back and receive my award, but Dieter said, oh, by the way, Crazy, you're going to give the speech for your team, aren't you? And I said, I guess so, but I didn't know I was, so you're going to get what you get. It's an honor to be here, and I'd like to thank the Rainy River Community College Hall of Fame for honoring this wonderful group of people, this 1969-70 team. It's the second year of Rainy River Community College. Our first year we probably played 10 games or so, and our second year we played everybody. But one thing I want to express to everybody is a thank you to Rainy River Community College, and I'm going to change that to Rainy River State Junior College is when we went. And without Rainy River State Junior College, I don't think anybody on this team would have accomplished what we have done so far. It gave us all a chance to play hockey. Nobody got contacted by D1 schools or D2 schools to go play anywhere. We went to Rainy River. And without Rainy River, we wouldn't have had the success we have right now. So I want you all to understand that Rainy River Community College has been a wonderful experience and a great place to be for a lot of students that would never have had an opportunity. Ask Billy. Oh, by the way, Billy did find out what hockey was about because he did come into the locker room one time while we were playing and he goes, "Oh my God, this stinks," and he left. So, if at this time I'd like to have all of the members of the team that are here come up front, please. And the cheerleaders. It's kind of amazing at that time, we had a mascot, Bullwinkle, I think, and whatever, and we had a Rainy River brass and pounding band that took the place of the Dirty Dozen. We had it all when we were at Rainy River State. We even had Letterman's jackets. I forgot to bring mine, but it was a neat place to be, and we certainly enjoyed it.
There you go.
Now you're going to really put me to test. I'm going to have to try to remember who these guys are. But as we do this, this team was a very, very special team, as you read in your program. It was exceptionally talented. We played a lot of the freshman team from the WCHA schools. At that time, freshmen weren't allowed to play in the WCHA. So we played those teams, and those were the number one recruits for those teams. And we were very, very successful, and they did not like that, but it's okay. I mean, that's what we did. This group also, I want to explain what this group has accomplished. It's not going to take a long time, guys. I promise I'd be short. But I did some scrambling before, and we have, from this group, over 150 years of coaching experience from members of this group. Have coached in national hockey tournaments, state hockey tournaments. We've had players that played, we had 8 players that played semi-pro off this team, 2 players that played in the Allen Cup. We have 1 player on this team that was the first first United States person to be NHL official. We have referees on this team that have refereed in the Wisconsin State Tournament, Minnesota State Tournament, and national tournaments. Over 150 years of refereeing in this group. So as you can see, this is a very, very accomplished group of players, not only on the ice, but academically, they were also excellent. So, to move on, the Cowboys said they had to go back to wherever they're going back to, so let's get going. So I'm going to try to remember everybody here. Starting in front of me is Murray McLeod.
All right, Murray.
Rodney Essling, David Doris, Rick Donato. I have to move. Mrs. Bobby Patton, Ron McKinnon, Rick Moon, Tim Cullen, Pat DeMarkey, Mike Bionich, Terry Cullen, and our cheerleaders are Nancy Brown, Nancy Bionich, and Debbie McKinnon. So, ladies and gentlemen, 1969, 1970, Rainy River State Junior College Hockey Team.
Thank you, Crazy, and the 1970 men's hockey team. Our final inductee this evening is for coaching excellence in athletics, and being inducted this evening for women's volleyball is Mel Milliver.
Good evening, and first of all, I would like to thank Dieter and the Hall of Fame committee for all of their time and effort to make this such a successful event. Dieter, you had a vision for this years ago. You talked about it all the time, and I am so glad that this banquet has finally become a reality. Thank you. I'm very honored to accept this Coaching Excellence Award. Back in 1989, I had my interview at Rainy River Community College. I remember meeting some of the best people in the world that day. Interviewing me were Alan Rasmussen, Dave Horner, George Schlief, and Sue Collins. I must have done something right because they offered me the job. I taught Phi-Ed and health classes, was athletic director, and coached volleyball for 33 years at RRCC. Those 4 people that interviewed me are still my mentors and good friends. Thank you. You've all heard the quote, "Choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life." I can relate to this quote. Every day there was something to do, don't get me wrong, but I worked with wonderful administration, staff, and colleagues that made it fun to come to work. I hope those of you who are still working can say that about your workplace when you retire. Coaching volleyball was always a big part of my life. I coached at the high school level and at the college level. I coached JO volleyball and ran many years of volleyball camps. I had the opportunity to work with many wonderful women. As I think back about my teams at Rainy River, there was always one constant. These girls loved the game and the opportunity to compete. I remember Alan Rasmussen telling me one day, "Mel, it's not about the wins and the losses. It's about recruiting good students and good people." I appreciated his advice and tried to follow that. There were challenges along the way. Trying to recruit girls to move up north to the Canadian border was not easy. But once they were here, they loved it. Driving vans all over the state made for many interesting conversations, and tight budgets made for a lot of creativity. But I wouldn't change anything. It was all about the experiences and the opportunity to work with wonderful young people. I would like to thank my family for supporting me every step of the way. A special thanks to my husband, Tom. He's always been there for me and really took on the role of Mr. Mom as I had games and traveled for work. Thank you, Tom. I also want to thank my 3 amazing daughters. They too have loved and supported me always. They are here with their husbands and fiance. Andrea and Jason, stand up. They live in Eden Valley, Minnesota. Kelly and Justin, stand. They live here in the Falls. And Brooke and Matt live in West Fargo, and we are all looking forward to their wedding next May. Thank you. In closing, thank you very much for hosting this terrific banquet. We need to continue celebrating all the accomplishments at Rainy River. Thank you for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. I am overwhelmed with gratitude and a deep sense of honor. Thank you.
To wrap up this evening, again, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee and the Foundation for all their hard work to make this happen. I do the Bronco Athletic Hall of Fame and aware of what it takes to pull off an event like this. It is no easy task, but it is a very rewarding task to do. Congratulations to all the inductees this evening, and have a good night.